Hey, what's up, sports fans, and welcome to another Guild Ball match report. Today, we're coming in against Aaron once again, this time taking his Corsair team. So he's coming in with Corsair, Salt, Grayscales, Siren, Sakana, and Jack. And I'm coming back with the classic Midas, not so classic, but it's still the Alchemists. Midas Flask, Vitriol, Vetcat, Calculus, and Compound. So this is one of Aaron's first games with Corsair. So he's still learning the ropes here and does not have access to Hag, which will quickly change his game. It looks like I'm going to be kicking off to Aaron there. And so I'm going to be kicking with Calculus this time because strategy's different. You know, putting Vitriol in for goal pressure is not really what you want to do here. I got to play a little cat and mouse with Corsair. So I kicked that ball awful shallow there. And I still have Calculus back in a corner where if Corsair wants to get to her, he's going to have to invest a lot to get to her. We're just going to start by allocating influence here. And I'm going to apologize right now for the weird camera zooms. There you can see we're slowly coming in. I'm playing around with like the pan and zoom feature, and it wasn't like stopping me from doing this. So it's going to go in and out. I guess it's going to give you a little bit of that Corsair piratey rough seas feeling. You might feel a little seasick watching this. Hopefully it's not too bad. You can see Sakana there run up, get the ball, and kick it back to Corsair. I'm going to make a slight adjustment with Compound and be happy with that. And we're going to see Aaron here move Salt into the other side of that cover. You see a lot of cover on this board and some rough ground in front of us. I'm going to put Flask right there and just stay out of the way, buddy. Just stay out of the way. I'm actually going to move him almost back to where he was, actually, just to keep him out of the way. You can see I'm playing a kind of a more patient game here, waiting for the board state to develop. So those two activations are fairly meaningless. Aaron's got to put somebody into the thick here. So he does what he thinks is a safe thing to do. Put Grayscales up against the cover there and just drop him in the middle of the board. Decoy would have been nice if he had it, but do you really want to spend the influence that early in the game? Now I'm looking at Vitriol going, that's like that. He's on the midline. Like that's 8 inches to the midline, and I have a 9-inch charge, so I can get lip to lip with Grayscales, and he is gonna slide him over there. I guess he didn't mean to keep him in cover, but he did, and so that's a good thing for Vitriol. So off the charge, she's able to put up Clone, and I only had one left on her. And I'm hoping for that momentous push dodge. The idea here is to try to get Grayscales over to the other side of the board where Sakana is. And you can see I push him closer there. And I'm going to take a dodge back. With Clone up, that's going to make me, again, playing a little cat and mouse here. I did manage to sneak a couple of momentum off, which is nice. I mean, that's the one thing I think that's going to help me quite a bit in this game is, with Corsair, the plus side is, yeah, you're going to be doing some beatdowns. You've got a lot of control of the board. The tricky part with Corsair is going to be keeping up in the momentum game. So I don't recall. Okay, so here we go. Now he's going to put Siren up the board there. And Siren's going to try to do a lure on Vitriol. That's going to proc the clone, and I'm just going to slide back. Alright. So I have to do something meaningful now. My two meaningless activations are over, and Vitriol got a couple of momentum. So I'm trying to figure out where to go with Calculus here. I'm trying to get this blind here on Jack. That would be fantastic. But, you're asking me to roll a 3. You know how hard it is for me to roll a 3? I can't roll a 3, people. Yeah, so anyways, I'm going to throw this Poison Cloud here on Grayscales. and I've got enough of a ring there to clip both Grayscales and Sakana. So I hit and poison both of them, and that's going to be pretty dang sweet if you know what VCat does, what he's about. Looks like Aaron's going to decide to go in with Corsair, and he's going to pass the ball over to Sakana, use that momentum to slide up. He does a really, really bold move here. He just brazenly walks into the middle of this poison cloud to try to get Calculus. And I understand where he's coming from here. Unfortunately, he doesn't hit it. I don't think I left him with enough to really do. I mean, if he brought Calculus in there, it would get a little bit messy for her in the first turn, but he wouldn't have enough to kill her. But still, that's fairly, it's still tricky for him to do that, and he did. Unfortunately, he missed the the harpoon move. I'm gonna come in and I am gonna charge Grayscales now that unpredictable movement is up. I'm gonna go ahead and charge Grayscales with Midas. And Midas he really only has like two kind of goals here. One is to continue to just pile on momentum. Momentum is like, this is your one real advantage over Corsair. Is you can farm momentum off of him while he's trying to set up. And you can see I'm doing a bunch of push dodges. Try to see if I could weasel my way over to Sakana. It's not a big deal if I don't get to him. But what is a big deal is trying to get Grayscales and Sakana close together, so that I can set up my my super play here, essentially with VCat. So you can see I'm just kind of wheeling around Grayscales, trying to get him just a little bit closer. Don't be shy. And you can see that's where I leave him. So Grayscales is over there. Aaron's gonna try to figure out what to do here with the Jack activation. Oh wait, hold on, I'm still playing. I had like 5 on Midas here. So Aaron's gonna come around with Jack. Now that he's not blinded, he's gonna walk over there to Calculus. He's gonna do try and attack on her. I don't think it does anything. I don't recall. I mean, it doesn't do anything terribly meaningful. Looks like he manages to get a little push there. Actually, I take it back. This is kind of meaningful because he's trying to close off that window there to Sakana. He knows VCat's in. He knows he can't stop a VCat charge, but he can make it interesting. And so he pushes Calculus right into the window there where VCat would want to be ideally. Like, he wants to be in the middle of those two poisoned guys, Grayscales and Sakana. But instead, I take a different approach here. I'm going to charge Jack, of all people. I have a different plan here. I am still within 3 inches of Grayscales. So, and we did a little bit of damage to him, during the Midas activation, and also during Vitriol's activation. No, Vitriol didn't do anything, but Midas did a little bit of damage to him and kind of prepped him up. So, managed to knock down Jack, do a couple of damage, and then momentously push him a little bit. And now, off the next 2 attacks, I managed to proc a few more damage plus intensify, and that's important. That's going to be important because I managed to get 2 intensifies off, and that is going to hurt Grayscales. That's going to do a total of 4 more damage to Grayscales, and I don't recall exactly how much Midas did to Grayscales. I think Midas did a few. I think he might have done 4 damage to Grayscales. So that's 8 damage. I mean, that's nothing to shirk at. I'm like way ahead on momentum here, going into the next turn. And so I play a nice low card, which is nice. I just give myself a little bit extra influence on these. That is like I said, if you can stay on top of momentum, Corsair is going to just bug you. He's going to follow you out to the parking lot. He's going to say, do you want a Malifaux demo? I'll demo you right here. I'll demo you in the parking lot. Let me show you how to play this game. And he's going to try to follow you around and just kind of be a general nuisance. And I'm going to be like, nah, man. I'm going to take your squad. I don't like you. I don't like your buddies. So, loading up here. Looks like Aaron wants to look at my phone. He wants to see what my playbook looks like. So, I have Jack knockdown, and I have Grayscales standing up. So I cannot charge right now because I'm engaged with Grayscales. Where your camera's going to just sort of snap over to that side of the board. And so, I believe, I'm going to take some attacks on Grayscales. So I take an attack on Grayscales and just kill him. Just outright kill him, putting the Alchemist to 2. Then I charge in and manage to get within 3 of Sakana. I'm actually charging Jack. So I managed to get some more intensifies off on Jack. And that's going to hurt Sakana as well. That is the sweet part about V Sakana. If your opponent, if you do this late enough and your opponent can't clear conditions, and again, this is just going to continue working that one weak point, that one major advantage I have over Corsair is I can rack up the momentum and it plays to my game plan. He needs damage, and he doesn't want to clear conditions. You know, he's going to want to against VCat, but it's still going to be tough. You see, I managed to take Jack out there with the rest of that activation, and so that puts the Alchemist at 4. So he's down 2 players. This is tough. Like Corsair's pocket's starting to come apart here. So Corsair's got to figure out what to do. He's going to go with Corsair, and he's going to just start to lay a beat down on Midas. Because why not? I mean, if he can take... I've got a full clip on Midas. If he can take 6 influence away from me by killing Midas, that's pretty brilliant. You can see me. You can see him bouncing me around a little bit. I believe he knocks me down. And he's going to drag me into that little pit there with him and Sakana. And unfortunately, he does not quite have enough to put me down. Like, we talked about this a little bit. If he managed to get 2 5s on every single bit of influence he had, I would be Midas would be dead. He knocks me down on the first attack, which makes the rest of this pretty interesting. I think he made the right call. Honestly, I do. Even though, you know, statistically he could have hit a couple of 5s, but you know, if I counter and do like a crazy push dodge away, that's a problem. Even though because we didn't start exactly lip to lip, and that would force him to walk up to me, and he wouldn't want that. So he lays a smacking down onto Midas. I think he leaves Midas on, I want to say 4 health. Pretty nasty. So we're trying to figure out, you know, I'm crying a little inside. I don't want to lose a stack of 6 influence. And I can't get to Sakana with any reasonable amount here. The thought is maybe I can wheel around with, you know, clear conditions, wheel around, heroic out to Sakana, try to tackle the ball, and then kick the ball, and then you know, kick a goal. I mean, I could technically do that. but instead what I decide to do is give up my advance, and basically attack. I believe I attack Corsair, and then slide into Sakana. And so I just start, with Corsair's, with his counterattack down, I'm just going to keep taking some more swings on Corsair and continue to rack up some momentum. My play has fallen apart here. I'm not going to get the ball. I'm not going to be able to score. I think, a low going around and trying to kick the goal there may have worked. It's not the best percentage play, but I think I made the right call in this case, because it allows me to keep up with the momentum race. And finally, I'm going to heroic out, heal myself up, and then just slide back to next to VCat. So Aaron's got the ball, and he's like, well, I'd easily make a goal right now, so why not? So he's gonna, with Sakana starting in cover like that, he's got a huge threat range. He's basically just gonna walk over or sprint over 10, and he's deciding whether or not he wants to go into compound. It's not a good idea to do that because he's got to pop Gluttonous Mass. Obviously, I have enough momentum to countercharge and screw up this entire play. So he's just going to go ahead and take a low percentage. He's just going to take an engaged goal here. Not the end of the world. He does hit it, as you can see. Bonus times and hits that. Tying the game at 4, and he slides right up to Vitriol there. So here comes the ball. And we're going to figure out where this goes. I don't remember this being I think this, yeah, it scatters over to Calculus. So Calculus has no way, the way the terrain is set, Sakana and Corsair have that corner there just locked up between the two obstacles. So Calculus, being a 1-inch melee, this is really gonna hurt her if she has to try to run through there and kick a 6-inch goal. If she triggers any sort of counterattack, that's bad, and she doesn't have acrobatic or anything like that. So she's not in the best position to do anything with the ball. So what she's gonna do is she's gonna she'll drop it off there in space, I think, or I forget what she does exactly. Oh, she's just gonna go ahead and charge looks like Siren. So she charges Siren. She gets the Momentous push dodge, or she gets a couple damage, I think, and Momentous push dodge is a really nice roll, and manages to put Siren in the middle of Vitriol and Calculus, and get poison on Siren. Again, this is very important. Okay. Meanwhile, Salt's going to come around and snatch up this ball. I'm sorry, I kept saying Siren. The player down there is Sakana. Sakana was the one that went down and kicked the goal. So I apologize for that. So he's trying to figure out, okay, can Salt get the ball without triggering any counterattacks? He can't, which also means he can't unsnap the ball. So Salt's out there with the ball. I'm gonna go in with Vitriol here. Now this is interesting. So I decide not to go get the ball. Again, low percentage play, and they have this. Corsair has a wedge up in there. Um, I mean, it wouldn't be hard to take the ball uh, from Salt, but I don't really have any forward player. If I was able to get Midas into snapshot range, that's a different story, because then I just take the ball from Salt and then try to hit a snapshot. Instead, I'm going to go into Sakana. I'm just going to do a few more attacks to Sakana. And we're doing okay. And finally, I managed to dodge over to Salt and throw a couple of attacks on Salt. And I managed to get the ball. Alright. Siren's trying to figure out how to get around into the play, because this is a great time for her to get involved and start messing with my possession here. So she's just going to come around the corner, though. She decides she doesn't really have the kind of dice to seduce right now. Oh wait, so she's gonna actually draw the Rush Keeper from Compound. She tried to go in after Calculus, and that doesn't work because Compound gets up there and just pushes her out of range. She then takes her, out of frustration, she takes her attack on Compound and procs his Gluttonous Mass. Soon to be called Resilience. So, yeah. So that was really, really frustrating activation there for Siren. Was not able to get much done. I believe this is the end of the turn, so we go flip cards again. I'm like well ahead on momentum once again, so this time I'm going to take I forget, one of those cards that gives me +1 influence. It's good. +1 influence is good. I didn't have a goal this game yet anyway, and so I don't have any goal influence. So massive amounts of momentum means I'm gonna just take a +1 card and be happy. You can see Aaron bringing on Jack, and it looks like Grayscale's back onto the board. So Vitriol has the ball right now, and she still doesn't have the most clear path to the ball, to the goal. That said, it looks like, I mean, it feels like I'm giving up a lot of potential goals. It's just, they're just so ugly. Like, I could slide over there, stay within Salt's melee, attack Corsair, get a push dodge on Corsair, dodge out of Salt and Corsair, and then try to kick a goal. But with the counter that Corsair is going to have and the probability I'm going to be knocked down, it's a bad idea. So instead, Vitriol is just going to go into Sakana, who was softened up from all the intensifies and the poison and all the other stuff working. And she's going to get another takeout, taking the Alchemists to 6 and the Fish at 4. So I'm just like beating people up now. I mean, we're just playing opportunistically here. The tough game from a clock standpoint. We didn't run a clock, but I'm trying to stay on top of things. Maybe I can in a tournament game. Maybe I could have forced a clock out here, but we weren't exactly playing anything like that. You can see Calculus slide out there, pick up a ball. I don't recall, like, did I really do that on purpose, or what am I doing there? Oh, that's right. I passed her the ball after killing Sakana and slid her out of the play. But is she really out of the play? I mean, she's close enough to Corsair there. In fact, Siren's going to come around and seduce Calculus to pass to Corsair. This is the deadly part about the Corsair team. Is like they're so good at thwarting everything. They're so good at taking the board state away from you. And so if you're sitting with the ball and you think you're out of range, you're not out of range. So there she goes. She gets her kick. It goes over to Midas. Oh, I forgot that. Yeah, Siren failed that seduce. Midas is going to slide up the board. Corsair is going to fix this real quick, though. Again, so many tools to just say, well, you're hanging onto the ball too long. I'm just going to rough seize. So he goes ahead. He's like, he measures this out. He's like, I think I got a goal here. So he's going to rough seize onto Midas. He's going to hit it. Take the ball away. That's just 6-inch amazing tackle from there. And he's going to stroll over. He's going to reverse the play, which is cool. Swing it all the way over to the other side of the board. And I think one thing that's interesting to note here is I was not really able to push onto his side of the pitch. Wasn't able to get sufficient force back there. So now Jack has the ball. Jack slides up. I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, and the last thing he does, which is really cool, is he manages to pull Compound well out of Rush Keeper. So here comes Vet Cat. And Vet Cat's going to charge poor Siren, who is still poisoned right now. And he's going to do some pretty hefty stuff here. So charge and a bunch of intensifies happen. And yeah, I mean, there's not much left on Siren, so. And so I do the Witness Me and kill Siren, taking the Alchemist to 10 and giving the Fisherman 2, so they're at 6. So things are looking okay for me. The problem is he's got an uncontested goal. He's got Jack there sitting with the ball. And he has Grayscales back in reserve too, which is ideal. You want to continue to keep pressure on my side of the board. You want to be hungry for that third goal. So here comes Jack. Just basically slides all the way up to tap-in range. Kicks on goal. And nails it. And we're looking at 10 all. This is a crazy game all of a sudden. So we're looking at 10 all. And I got some decisions to make here. I'm going to throw this to where, I'm hoping Vitriol can get the ball. But Vitriol went already. Midas went already. There's really not much left to do here. No, wait, Midas has not gone, but he's so far away from the action right now. Would be great if Flask could pick it up, but Flask is being tied up by Jack. This Flask is in combat with Jack. The ball, meanwhile, scatters over to Vitriol. Not the worst thing in the world, but hey, it's good that it's good to still have possession, and it's good to just continue to keep my momentum lead. I go with Compound, manage to score a momentous double push, and put Corsair a little closer to me. Corsair is gonna just sort of bat me away. I'm not sure why he did that. I think he wants to be free for an activation after this. Grayscale's trying to figure out how far can he go exactly. So he's gonna sprint. This is such a crucial part of the game at 10 all that we break out the fancy widget there. So he goes exactly 9. I break out a 4-inch, again, like the NFL with the chains here. And yes, where he goes, he will have range to Vitriol. He'll be suffering a crowd out though from Compound. And he's hoping for Ball's Gone, because he only has the 1 influence. And I don't recall if he gets it or not. He's going to take a dodge. And yeah, this is a little bit tougher. Like, he manages to get Vitriol away from her crowd out, but does not manage to get the ball. So all I have left is I have the little robot guy who is just gonna slide over to. Oh wait, before that happens, Salt's gonna come around. Wait, oh, that was just me sprinting Midas back there, trying to take another shot on the Otter. All I really want is a push dodge. I just need to move him around a little bit. And momentum would be great here. Doesn't look like I'm doing much moving. However, I'm doing a lot of dodging. So I'm not doing a lot of pushing, doing a lot of dodging. Would prefer to have pushing, but hey, didn't get it. Again, well ahead on momentum, so I'm going to take the first turn. I'm going to put a full clip on Vitriol there. And so my idea here is, let me score a little bit of momentum off either Grayscales or Salt, and then wide sprint all the way around this and kick a goal. Aaron's going to park his players right in front of his goal to try to block my my goal kick there. And so I'm trying to figure out, okay, what's harder for me? 4-0 with 2 crowd outs, or 5-0 with a crowd out in cover. And asking me to roll 5s is just not a good idea. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to activate Vitriol. And I'm going to try to get some momentum off of Grayscales. But the fact is, I roll like crap and I score 1 damage. Grayscales is going to counter. I don't recall if Grayscales does anything off his counter. He might do a damage. I don't think it was much. Now here's the thing about Grayscales though. He came in on 7 health. I accidentally did 1 to him. And then I hit a big ol' spike. And so I'll do 3 to him on the second hit. The third hit, I'm going to go ahead and do 2 and then 2 on the final hit. For the final takeout, taking me to 12 and the Fisherman 10. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.